Okay, so I thought I'd just make a quick little video about all of the bombshells that are about to be released in the next week as Omid Scobie's book is released on the 28th of November. Endgame. Will it be a game ender? Will it be a game changer? We shall see. We're going to take a look at this article from the Daily Mail, which goes over very briefly, all of the big reveals, the big revelations from the book that's about to come out. Omid Scobie is really not best pleased that all of these revelations are coming out in the press. He's begging people to buy the book. I'm not so sure there's as much interest as there was a few months ago in this whole thing. And everything that's coming out at the moment, I've got to say, is a little bit, as everyone says, which is really cringe now, milquetoast. Right? These are not really... I don't think this is going to make a big commotion, really, myself. But I could be wrong. It says, Meghan Markle, this is the latest one, Meghan Markle personally rang Omid Scobie after learning he had been sent threats on social media. The new book reveals, as Sussexes cheerleader-in-chief insists he is not their friend and never have been. I think that's a typo. Unless, does Omid identify as two-spirit now or something? He's one of those plural people. I don't know. Let's go on. We get a little bit of a recap of all of the things that are coming out, and we'll look at the book when it does come out. Don't worry, Omid. I'm going to buy the audio version, with one Audible credit, so it doesn't feel like I'm really buying it. The rate I listen to books at, I never use up the 12 credits, so it's fine. Your book's basically free to me, okay? Now, I know people don't like me drinking on the videos, do you? You always have a go at me, so I'll just be taking sneaky sips every now and again. All right? No slurping. God forbid. You pill-clutching wankers. Meghan Markle phoned Omid Scobie after learning he had been sent threats on social media. The author's new book reveals. But the Sussexes cheerleader-in-chief insists he is not their friend and never have been. This seems deliberate now, the never have been. Surely it's never has been. They never have been his friend. But it says here, he is not their friend and never have been. Not their friend and never have been. I don't understand. He's referring to himself in plural. Yet it's a he. Anyway, never have been. It must. Is it the two-spirit thing? I don't know. Ahead of the release of his explosive new book, Endgame. It's going to be explosive. Meghan called Scobie in 2018 on her mobile phone, not the landline, on her mobile phone to check on his welfare. When she was told by a member of her team that he had been harassed on social media, reports The Telegraph. The royal writer insisted in recent weeks, ahead of the November 28 release of his Endgame, he is not Meg's pal. All right, he's not. Get it through your heads. He ain't her pal. He wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter. And let's get this nonsense out of the way. Endgame is about the current state of the British royal family. Okay then, we believe you. It's a load of gossiping shite. That's what it is. But I'm going to listen to every minute of it with my one Audible credit. I hope that gives you some sort of satisfaction, Omid. But it's no skin off my nose, honestly. As I say, I will listen to one book a month if we're in a particularly, creative period. It's not Harry and Meghan's book. I'm not Meg's pal. The Sussexes have nothing to do with it. Their story is a small part of a much bigger one you can read in 12 days. Now, I think he knows, though, that the only reason anyone's buying it is to get more gossip about Harry and Meghan. Nobody really cares that much about the rest of the royal family. Not in a big way. There we go. We've got Meghan at the Variety Power of Women Award. And here we have two of the most soulful eyes you will ever lay eyes on. Look at that. Wouldn't you just love to wake up to that every morning? I know I would. Wake up to him on a Zoom call, of course. That's what I mean. Because I have to go and help him with his royal endeavours in our swanky office building in central London. And we could talk about the Sussexes and gaze into each other's eyes. Omid. Yeah. While in an interview with Paris Match, he added, "I am not their friend and never have been." Oh, I see, because they were quoting him. He's saying, "I never have been." Right, okay, because it was a quotation. See, I'm not a very experienced investigative journalist yet. Right, I've only been in this a few months. And, sometimes these house rules, they go over my head a little bit, It's not my fault. Meghan and Harry's favoured reporter has been friendly with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and co-wrote their 2020 biography, Finding Freedom. That's what I've never really looked at, Finding Freedom. He co-wrote it. Okay. Who was the other writer? Sussex insiders have recently indicated to Mail Online Harry and Meghan had nothing to do with Scobie's latest release. I actually think they probably didn't. Like, how interested would they be? I know they're saying Omid is their mouthpiece. That's what people are saying about Omid Scobie. I think he's just he's just trying to make a quick buck out of this before it fizzles out. I recognise that a mile off. I seriously doubt they've had much to do with this. I'm sure he got some information secondhand from them. The revelations, they're either made up, and even if they're not made up, they're kind of things that you could deduce, to take away, to deduce, right? I'm an English teacher. You could guess these revelations. There's nothing explosive about them. Okay? No one's going to be exploding as they read this, I don't think. Okay, so they say they have nothing to do with it. Insiders said that Harry and Meghan had nothing to do with the latest release, amid a series of extracts being released from the book, which casts cruel jibes at almost every member of the royals. I think if I'm Omid, I want to, make it look like I've got contact with Harry and Meghan. But of course, I can't claim to if I don't. But it's good to make it look like I am in contact with them, right? Make it look like I am their mouthpiece. That's going to get more people reading. I think he's just an innocent young salesman. That's all he is. He's just trying to sell his work. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Look at me with my enticing thumbnails. My clever titles. All that stuff. Scobie admits in Endgame it will burn my bridges for good, as he vows to tell the full story, having in the past, like others, have held back on revealing some of the darker truths at the heart of the institution of the British monarchy. What could they be? Are they as dark as your soulful eyes? Are these dark truths so dark as to swallow one's soul in their blackness? Today, King Charles was branded a pampered royal by Scobie in an extract leaked to The Sun. He alleges His Majesty has his shoelaces ironed for him. Who doesn't? Am I right? I tell Anna every morning I want to see my face in those, what do you call the plastic bits at the end of laces? There's a word for them. He alleges His Majesty has his shoelaces ironed for him and insists on travelling with luxurious, perfectly steamed, 1,000-thread count bed linen. Again. Wouldn't you? If you had a YouTube channel as successful as mine, wouldn't you have perfectly steamed 1,000-thread count bed linen? That's how I sleep. On my sofa every night. In another snide attack, Scobie says Charles likes to have someone squeeze 1 inch of toothpaste onto his toothbrush for him as part of his bedtime routine. Yeah, well, does he know this? Is he making it up? Is it something somebody would bother to deny? I don't think I would. I kind of like people to think that that's the life I lead, you know? People say you have 1 inch of toothpaste squeezed onto your toothbrush every night. And I go, well, I wouldn't want to, you know, I wouldn't deny it. I'd let people believe that. It would be advantageous. You know, anyone who's getting that kind of service, you know, you don't want to rub them up the wrong way, do you? An extract from the 42-year-old's new book, Endgame, published in The Sun, reads, when laces get even the smallest bit threadbare. I'm sorry, it's really difficult to read when the letters are so damn big. Maybe I should zoom out a bit. When laces get even the smallest bit threadbare, a staff member must quickly switch them out with a fresh ironed pair. I think I could be a great public reader. I could be an anchor for GB News, maybe. I could read this all off on autocue, you know, and it would be a win-win. I'm sure I'd be earning less than Dan Wootton, but we could probably come to some arrangement, you know? I'd agree to stop saying, you know, all the time. Even. There is even a rumour, one that surprisingly sources have confirmed, that Charles likes to have someone squeeze... I've just read that. See, the autocue would be moving, like... I wouldn't have to control that bit. So you don't need to worry. Once I have it down to a science, what I have to do, I'm great at it. But this is, you know, I'm multitasking at the moment. Excerpts of Scobie's book have been shared with people, as in the magazine, in the US, including claims that Harry remained in the dark about the Queen's health in her final moments. It also alleges that it was Meghan who urged Harry to answer his phone when Charles called him on an unknown number to reveal that the Queen was close to death. Oh, got a bit of heartburn today. Was close to death before also asking that Meghan should stay away from Balmoral. And there they are, the happy couple. And there is Omid pleading with the public. Please buy my book. Please. Though I don't have any real sources. But I might do. You don't know. No, I don't know Harry and Meghan. Right? Yeah, sure, Omid. And there's our king wearing a baseball mitt. Poor Charles, with his big bloated hands. Gone are the days of the harpsichord lessons. There you go, there's your end game. With Charles and Camilla. The Waleses, the Sussexes, the Scobies. And there they are. William, Harry. Unbloated hands. Now there's a hand you can trust. There's a hand that can lead a country. Harry with his participation medals. Well done. Oh, and it's the Queen, the final photo of the Queen. Oh, the hands. I remember those hands. That looks very much like my living room, I have to say. We don't have an open fire. I say to Alexa, can you give me 10 hours of open fire on YouTube, please? And the smart TV lights up. It's only interrupted every now and again with ads. Who'd put ads on a fire video? Am I right? Lunatics, that's who. Scobie writes, Charles had cited protocol, but the reality was that Kate chose to stay back to pick up the children from their first day of school. We know all this. They just didn't want Meghan there. We know all this. Said a former Palisade. Meghan, a friend added, could sense she wasn't wanted with her sixth sense. The common sense. The book also claims Prince William ignored Harry's text, forcing him to charter his own plane. Oh, no. I mean, imagine that. I hate when I have to charter my own plane. It's really inconvenient. William clearly didn't want to see his brother, Endgame says. See what I mean? Very, as they say, milk toast. Very boring, in my opinion. Scobie's decision to piggyback the release of his new book on the King's 75th birthday and the sixth and final series of The Crown was branded deplorable today. Now, look, I'm sorry. You cannot, for a minute, convince me that this is a deplorable man. I won't have it. Okay? No. No one can have such a deep, meaningful, loving, caring, hospitable expression as Omid Scobie and be deplorable. He is imploring you to buy his book. Look at the emotion in his eyes. He's begging you. Anyway, I digress. Good. I really have. Where am I? Deplorable today. Yes. Royal journalist and author Phil Dampier previously told Mail Online, we all know that Scobie is their mouthpiece and he gets his information directly and indirectly from the Sussexes. So anything which is hurtful to Charles, Camilla or William and Kate will just make things much worse. Let's put it this way. I can't see Harry and Meghan coming over for a family Christmas. This is just all crap, isn't it? It's all a load of shizzle. He added, the king has always left the door open, blah, blah, blah. There is a more serious allegation Royal courtiers are said to be furious over the claims that made by Harry and Meghan's biographer, Scobie, who alleges that Prince William ignored the Duke of Sussex's calls as he raced to be at the Queen's bedside in Scotland in September last year. There you go, Harry. Oh, he was racing, was he? Playing the race card again, are we? All right. Shall we have a look at a little bit of Chris Williamson and Jordan Peterson? Yeah, that's a nice way to end the video, isn't it? Yes, Daniel, yes it is. I've really enjoyed this.
There was a recent interview.
Shut up. This little podcasty episode we've done today. We're just going to listen to a few minutes of Jordan and Chris here, because I think they kind of they're describing. Well, my ears are burning. That's all I'm saying. They're not talking about me, but they kind of are. They're describing my life, right? The way I live. You'll see what I mean. They're describing people like me.
There was a recent interview with Elon Musk where he said something. My mind is a storm. I don't think most people would want to be me.
Right.
Amen. My mind most certainly is a storm. I do think most people want to be me. Maybe they wouldn't if they got to experience it for like more than 2 minutes. It's insane up here. Like Elon Musk.
My mind is a storm. I don't think most people would want to be me.
Right.
They may think they would want to be me, but they don't. They don't know. They don't understand.
You don't understand.
What do you think of that? Elon's someone that people probably look up to and admire and aspire to be.
One of the downsides to high-level genius is you might describe it as hypomania. So here's a simple test that people can do. So this is a test of something called verbal fluency, and verbal fluency is associated with creativity. And so here's a simple verbal fluency test. Write down as many 4-letter words as you can in 3 minutes that begin with T.
Twat. Twig. Twos. Tone. Time. Ting. Is that a thing? Tongue. Ting tong. You see? Imagine after 3 minutes how many words I would have. Toll. Tell. There you go. I think I might be a hyper genius.
Okay, that's pretty constrained. 4 letters and T. Or write down as many words as you can in 3 minutes that begin with S.
Slag. Slut. Slim. Sage. So, again.
That's less constrained. All right, so there's quite a powerful correlation between the sheer number of words that you produce and your lifetime creative achievement, right? Especially in the artistic and verbal domains. That's different than vocabulary. Vocabulary is how many words you understand. Fluency is how many words you can produce in a given amount of time.
Deployment of those words. Yeah.
Well, people vary to a degree that you can hardly imagine. So some people, if you get them to do the 4-letter test in 3 minutes, they'll write down like 12 words.
12? Those people need to be put in a school.
And some will write down 150.
Please. 150 in 3 minutes. I got like 7 in 30 seconds. Yeah, I wouldn't have got at that rate. But I think I was accelerating. Twin. Save.
And the ones who are writing down 150, their minds are going at a hypomanic rate. They're just thinking 5 times as fast
Bing,
as...
bing, 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 bing.
That's the noise it makes.
Yeah, without any remission whatsoever. And when that gets completely out of control, you have manic. You have someone who's manic. And there's nothing fun about manic. That's where...
Well, you say that. Look at what I produce in my manic phases. I just decided not to go to bed, and I produced this lovely YouTube video. And I didn't need no death water to help me produce it. All right? Your neutronic. Okay? Or amphetamines. Which you're all on. With your podcasts. You psychopaths. I don't know why I've started featuring these guys so often now. I think, I have nothing against them. But there you go.
Where the word maniac comes from. And someone who's manic has 1,000 different plans, each of which are one sentence long, that they're hyper enthusiastic about. They'll spend every cent of their money pursuing them, and things just go immediately to hell. And so...
well, I don't know about that. This doesn't look like hell to me, where I am.
That's the outer limit of pathology on the creative front. And someone like Musk, who's clearly a genius, that's what he's contending with in his internal landscape. Now, I'm not saying that he's manic, because I see no signs of that, but someone that creative is on that edge. Or you see someone like Ben Shapiro. I mean, it's very interesting to talk to Ben, because, and Russell Brand is the same way.
Russell Brand and Ben Shapiro? Russell Brand kind of talks slowly. He says a lot, but it takes him a long time to say it. It reminds me of me. Ben Shapiro talks like he's drugged up. And
Shapiro speaks, I think, more rapidly than anyone I ever met. But if you're with him, you see very clearly that he's probably thinking 5 times that fast. And that's a lot. And when I was writing Maps of Meaning, which was my first book, I had a very difficult time shutting off my mind. I was obsessed with that book. And so I was writing about 3 hours a day. And then I was thinking about the material like for 12 hours. And the thoughts came as way faster than thinking. They probably came about as fast as I can read. I can read about 1,200 words a minute if the material isn't overwhelmingly dense.
Well, I can listen to Audible books on 1.5 speed. So, all right, Jordan, if we're going to be bragging here, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm finished for today, I think. This was a very strange episode of the Daniel Boland Show, I think. But it is what it is. It was what it was. And I'll see you in the next one.